She's back. I haven't been back in, y'all know, I haven't posted in a long time. And if you are new here, my name's Kristen. I normally post thrifting videos, but thrift stores are garbage right now. Garbage. And not the stuff that's in it, just the prices. So let's talk about what's been going on lately and why I haven't posted in forever. And of course I had my little baby boy. So I have a girl, a boy, a girl, and then a boy. I know I've been MIA for a long time. Last time I posted was like at the end of August. But at the very like last couple days of August, when I was still pregnant, I got super sick. The whole family got sick, like throwing up. But my kids didn't get it as bad as I did. And I think that's just because I was pregnant. But I didn't feel like doing any social media at all. I just wanted to sleep, rest. That was it, right? And then I had gotten some rude comments on some of my older YouTube videos, and I was too hormonal to even deal with that right then because it was irritating and I didn't want to mess with it, so I just didn't post on here anymore. And that's just real life of influencer, content creator. Sometimes you just need to take a break, and that's what I did. But I had the baby. I had him October 15th, and the story was super crazy. So normally I have to be induced because I have to take blood thinners, and that was because I had a blood clot with my older son. I have a girl, boy, girl, and then a boy. So with my son, I had a blood clot with him at 32 weeks, and I had to keep pushing to even have them check because there was something wrong and I knew it. There was, I was having really bad leg cramps and like Charlie horse. And I told the nurse that on the phone. I told her, I was like, hey, my leg's hurting really bad. I had a Charlie horse the night before and my leg still hurts and there's a bruise on the back of my leg. And she was like, just drink more water. I was like, okay, well, I have my doctor's appointment in a couple days, so it's fine. I'll just wait and talk to the doctor then. So I talked to her and she was like, yeah, that's not normal. Let's go ahead and get that checked out. So they did a sonogram on my leg and found the blood clot. Got me on blood thinners, and then I was told every time that I get pregnant, I have to be on blood thinners. So I've had to be on them ever since. And I stopped taking them at 6 weeks. So with being on blood thinners, I'd have to be induced to get that epidural. Okay, so, and I wanted one. And I was supposed to be induced October 15th for this baby. October 14th, I just felt different. I felt completely different that morning. I just felt like the urge to like get everything done, and not just because I was being induced the 15th or the next day. I just felt the urge to get everything done that I could, and I felt very overwhelmed. And I told the kids, this was afternoon, I told the kids, I was like, okay, let's go for a walk. And we normally take about a 2-mile walk, but it had been so hot that I hadn't taken any in a while because it was like 100 degrees and I was 9 months pregnant. I'm not taking a 2-mile walk. So take the kids on their little bike ride, I walk, and on our way back, my toddler, she was telling me, she was like, I think you're going to have the baby today. And I was like, no, I'm going to have the baby tomorrow. Just kind of brushed it off, right? I packed my hospital bag, and my husband kept telling me that I needed to pack my hospital bag days and weeks before all this because I was having contractions at 37 weeks every single day. And I never had Braxton Hicks or any of that with my other pregnancies, right? So I just was like, this isn't the same. Everything about this pregnancy has been different. So my toddler told me that. And I was like, no, I packed my hospital bag, fed the kids lunch, and then got up at the table, like left the table. My husband had just called me on his little lunch break, asked me how my day was. And 20 minutes later, I call him back, telling him that my water broke and I needed him to come home. So I got up off the table and I felt like, like a gush. And that's never happened to me ever. They've always had to manually break it when I'm at the hospital being induced. So I never felt that way before. And I kind of thought maybe I just peed. If you know, you've been pregnant, you know that you just pee sometimes. If you sneeze or cough or, So I go to the bathroom and like a whole bunch comes out. And I was like, that's not pee. I kind of brushed it off some more. And then I was like, maybe I should go ahead and get the rest of the stuff, last minute things packed and the last minute stuff in the nursery done. Like I do cloth diapers, so I needed to hang up the drying rack. Well, I haven't built it. So my kids come into the room, and I don't tell them yet. They come into the room, the nursery, to help build the drying rack. And then I just feel it as I'm sitting. And I was like, I'll be right back. And I go to the bathroom, and it's like coming out as I'm walking to the bathroom. So I call my husband. He comes home as fast as he can because he works about 20 to 25 minutes away, depending on traffic. And we've been having construction here on the highway by our house, and that like backs up traffic for like an hour. Terrible. But he gets home. I call my mom so she could come over and watch the kids because she was supposed to come over anyways and watch the kids the next day. Get to the hospital, and they tell me that they have no room and we have to wait in the waiting room. Okay, and it's not like the emergency room. They have a labor and delivery unit, so I got to stay in there, not the emergency room. Well, there's probably 6 other pregnant women waiting to be seen for labor and delivery with their spouses, and I'm leaking in the chair, like totally embarrassed. I did bring a towel, and we were probably waiting for about 30 minutes to 50 minutes. It seemed like forever, but it wasn't probably that long to be in a hospital waiting. But while we were waiting, somebody had been brought in from paramedics, and she had on the hospital gown, and she was clearly pregnant, and she needed to be seen because she came from a smaller hospital, and they transferred her to the bigger one, which is where I was at, and they told them that they had no room. And the paramedics were so mad about it. They waited with her till she was able to get a room, but I got a room first because I was actively leaking. And I get back into the room. They start walking me back, and they were like, what number of baby is this for you? And I told them, and they were like, oh. And I was like, yeah. And they were like, okay, are you leaking, amniotic fluid? And I was like, yeah, it's not pee. And I was like, I'm having the baby today. I'm not going home. I was like, I'm supposed to be induced tomorrow. And she's like, okay. And they have to check make sure it is fluid and not pee. And then she found out that it was. And I was like, yeah, it's like gushing. And then they have to check my blood work because I was supposed to wait and not take the medicine, not take the blood thinner anymore, so I could be induced the next morning and still be able to get the epidural. So I was upset because I was scared that I wasn't going to get the epidural. And I know millions of people do it without the epidural, and more power to you. I was just too scared. So they do the blood work, and that comes back like an hour later to make sure that my levels were high enough that I was able to get the epidural, because if not, I wouldn't be able to because my blood wouldn't clot by itself. So it was fine. I was able to get one. And this is Monday Night Football. So my husband's watching football in the room. I asked for the epidural at like 6 centimeters because I was done. I didn't want it anymore. My husband's eating Chipotle, he goes to go get Chipotle. And I told the nurse that was with me, I was like, I can't do it anymore. Can I order the epidural now? And she's like, yeah, we'll go ahead and get it ordered. I was like, okay. Husband gets back because Chipotle's right across the street. He comes back. The anesthesiologist, the one who's doing my epidural, super, super nice. I mean, the best experience I've had out of all of my labor and delivery experiences, because he was so nice. He was talking to my husband about football, and the nurses were like, couldn't be me. I wouldn't let my husband watch football. And I was like, well, I'm over here either playing on my phone or just trying to breathe. It's fine. He can watch football. I'm not watching anything anyways. And he's eating while they're putting the epidural in. I mean, he's in the other side of the room eating. And I said it's fine because he doesn't do good with needles. He doesn't do good with blood. Just let him be. The nurse got me. We good. And they're just chatting it up while they're putting it in. It was super chill, fine. But it did not make me numb completely like it normally did, which is fine. So as soon as I get it done, maybe about 10 minutes later, my heart rate drops completely low, and then they can't find the babies. So they turned me and trying to fix me all up and trying to find the heartbeat and trying to get mine regulated. Couldn't. They rushed me back to ER, the C-section room, because they have a different room than compared to the other operating rooms. We were in there for about an hour making sure that they could find the heartbeat for the baby and that he was stable and everything was fine. I'm bawling, like just laying there, no noise, just tears rolling down. And we didn't have to do a C-section. We just waited in there until our heart rates were good. And then we went back to my room and then, hung out in there. But I wasn't able to go to sleep. Like, I could still feel so much pressure. Like, it was awful. I know it's not as bad as not having the epidural, so it's fine. Couldn't sleep, though. So I was just wide awake from that whole day until I had him. And I had him at 1:30 in the morning and pushed for 2 hours. I didn't have to do that with my last baby. My last baby came out in 2 pushes. Like, she was out. But with this one, he was sunny side up, so his eyes were facing up and they were supposed to be facing down. And the lady, my OB, she had to keep her hand inside to try and turn his head to get him to come off the pelvis. And she was like that for 2 hours. Stayed in there for 2 hours. I couldn't feel contractions anymore. Once I was on my back, I couldn't feel them. I couldn't feel pressure. Like when you'd have a contraction, I would feel the pressure and then it would stop, and then pressure and then it would stop. I didn't have that once I laid on my back. Once I laid on my back, it was constant pressure. Just a constant, never went away. So I couldn't tell her when I was having a contraction, and the monitor wasn't picking it up. It was just a mess. So she stayed like that and could feel the contractions on the inside and would tell me when to push. So I did that. She was able to, last minute, turn his head and he was able to come out. And thank goodness she kept his head, protected, because he would have been all bruised up. And that's what normally happens with babies that are stuck on the pelvis. They're normally all bruised up and end up having jaundice or having to be put under the lights for jaundice. So his head came out perfectly round. There was no coning or anything like my other babies. But he came out perfectly round and a full head of hair. And all of my other babies were either bald or just a little bit of peach fuzz. But he had a full head of hair. Still has it. And I was so shocked because in the ultrasounds, they had said that he had hair. And I was like, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. And he did. He had a whole full head of hair. I had him at 1:30. We stay in that room for at least an hour to do skin to skin. And they weigh him and measure him and that kind of stuff after the hour, and then you get you go to the postpartum unit. I didn't end up going to the postpartum unit until 5:30 in the morning because they had no rooms. And this is a big hospital. I don't know how they didn't have any rooms. Okay. Finally get to a room, and I was hoping we could go home that night, but we had to stay because he wouldn't be 24 hours old until 1 o'clock in the morning. So we had to stay until after that. And then they didn't get any of my blood thinners or ibuprofen sent to the pharmacy, so they couldn't let me leave until they got it sent to the pharmacy. They said if I left and it didn't get sent, then they couldn't send it when I got home. I don't know. Maybe it's just their protocol. So I needed the medicine, so we had to wait until they got that done. And then the pediatrician comes in and checks them, makes sure everything's good. Get to go home. Everything's fine with the baby. And then 2 days later, I go to the emergency room because I had really bad pain in my chest. And I felt like I couldn't breathe. And I was just worried that I had a blood clot in my lungs. So we went, my husband and I, my mom came over to watch the bigger kids. And we took the baby because I didn't want to be admitted and not have the baby. So we went in, they do blood work, and then they do an x-ray, EKG, and some other tests that I don't know. And it all came back fine. They said it was probably just my hormones. I was so embarrassed. Okay, I was embarrassed. It's fine. I'd rather get checked out because I wouldn't have been able to sleep. I would have been so paranoid about it, having blood clot and what would happen to me or my kids if I wasn't there, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I felt dumb for going, but it's okay. I'd rather go and get it checked out than not. And I feel like that's what happens with a lot of people. They don't want to seem stupid or overreacting on stuff like that, so they don't go, and then something bad happens to them. But it was pretty easy. The labor and delivery was easy. The aftercare after when I got home, like my down there didn't hurt. My stomach hurt. The contractions, because you still have them, those were painful. Those were the worst out of all of my babies. This one was the worst. And I would use like a heat pack trying to help, but it did help, but not, very well. He weighed 6 pounds, 12 ounces and was 20 inches long. He wasn't my biggest baby. My biggest baby was my older son. He was 6'14". But he was my longest one. The 20.5 inches is the longest. And he goes for his little 2-month checkup tomorrow. I'm kind of thinking that he weighs like 12 pounds now, because at his 1-month checkup he weighed 9, and I kind of think he weighs 12 now. We are in cloth diapering, and his little newborn diapers go up to 12 pounds, and he can't fit them anymore. That's why I think he's 12 pounds or close to it. But he's a really good, sweet little baby. We do breastfeed and we do formula. So it's like a combo, right? And I always feel like on social media, you are told that you have to breastfeed because breastfeeding is the best. And I do. There's so many great benefits to it. But if you can't, like I couldn't in the past, it's okay, right? It is okay. But I also don't think it should be all or none. Like if you don't have enough, maybe you can supplement like I am. And I've never had enough. And I've done all the things where you drink all the water and, pump. And I hate pumping. I'd rather not pump. And he's got like, you can't tell in the video, but it's like strawberry brown. Everybody on my dad's side is a redhead. And I've always wanted a little ginger baby. But I do plan on coming back to social media, and I do have a TikTok, but it's not like it went viral or anything. I have like 700 subs on it, so it's not like anything crazy. You don't get paid on there until you're like 10,000 followers, and then who knows if we're even going to keep TikTok. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But I will come back to social media. It was just hard, and I needed a break. And I think that's okay. I think that's okay to admit that you needed a break from social media. But that's a little life update. I know that's kind of long, but it's okay. It's okay to take a break. And I definitely needed a break from social media because I was doing it 3 times a week, 20-minute videos where I was editing those videos, uploading those videos, and getting, a handful of views. And I know I'm so appreciative of all my viewers. And I feel like I let everybody down by not posting anymore, but I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it for like my mental health. I could not post and then get mean comments. I couldn't do it. And I wasn't getting mean comments on my thrifting videos. I was getting mean comments on the old ones, but I just needed a break. So I will come back. I will be here. I worked really hard to get to this, to get monetized. I might as well not throw it all away, right? So we will be back, but it'll be different. It's going to be day in the life videos. It could be gardening videos. I do cook a lot, and I thought about doing some of those too because I do that on my TikTok. But let me know what you want to see, because I don't want y'all to be bored. I don't want y'all to unsubscribe. But thrifting was so fun. It was my hobby. I love doing it. I absolutely love doing it. That's not fun anymore because the prices are absolutely ridiculous. But let me know what y'all want to see. If y'all want to see hauls, day in the life, or if y'all are just bored and y'all gonna unsubscribe, please don't do that. Please don't unsubscribe. But thank you for watching. I hope y'all have a wonderful day, a wonderful Christmas. It's gonna be Christmas, and that's crazy to me. It's gonna be his first Christmas. Made me cry, but I'm too hormonal to think about it being his first Christmas. I'll cry. But thank you for watching. I hope y'all have a great weekend. And that's going to be the end of today's video. I hope y'all are having a great day and a wonderful weekend. If you liked this video, there's 2 more that you can click on. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.